England fears information leak disadvantage ahead of Euro 2024 semi-finals. Dusseldorf, Germany, 2 wins from what would be a historic triumph at Euro 2024. England doesn't need to worry too much about leaks in its defensive unit. Instead, it's worrying about leaks in its information system and potential cracks in the code of silence that head coach Gareth Southgate wishes to keep airtight. Leading into Wednesday's semi-final against the Netherlands in Dortmund, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox and the Fox Sports app, Southgate has grown increasingly frustrated about the level of knowledge that has been made available to the public, surely and speedily finding its way into the hands of the team's opponents. "We do a lot of things," Southgate told reporters. "A lot of our processes have been shared, but then our tactical plan to the game was also shared 3 days before the Switzerland game. It is so difficult for us because any element of surprise you might have with the opponent is gone 3 days before the game. It is quite incredible, really." It wasn't the longest comment Southgate has ever uttered, but there were a lot of layers to it, and it appeared to speak to concerns both past and present. On its surface, he was talking about the decision to switch to a back three from a 4-man defense for the quarterfinal victory over Switzerland on penalty kicks following a 1-1 draw after extra time. With Marc Guéhi suspended after collecting 2 yellow cards, a change was needed. Instead of making a straight switch by bringing in Ezri Konsa to replace him, Southgate opted for 3 at the back and a greater midfield spread, employing Kieran Trippier and man-of-the-match Bukayo Saka as wingbacks. It turned out to be a good plan, but most English newspapers carried articles that Southgate was leaning toward that decision as early as Wednesday evening of last week. Swiss head coach Murat Yakin is an astute tactician and may have guessed what Southgate was going to do anyway, but it is not hard to see how he may have gained a small edge by seeming to receive early confirmation of it. There are multiple ways such things can emerge into the public sphere. Portions of training sessions are open to the cameras, so any lineup or players grouped together in a certain way can give hints to journalists familiar with the team over a number of years. Even things like which player it is put up for media interview, someone not going to feature in a game is unlikely to be put forward, can be an indicator. And then there are just real-life human factors. Players are people who are away from home for weeks at a time and, naturally, with access to multiple forms of communication. They talk to their families, who may not always be discreet. They talk to their agents, some of whom may already have an established relationship with reporters and may see currency in trading such information for future benefit. When former England international Stan Collingwood was scooping everyone and revealing the starters for each game of the 2010 World Cup, it was believed he was being fed the info by a person in the camp who was a personal friend. Things have gone a bit further this week in regard to England's approach to penalty kicks. As evidenced by the quarter-final result, England has a way of doing things, from Jordan Pickford's water bottle to player selection, mental approach, and much more. That's the bit from the first part of Southgate's answer, and that has mostly come from former members of the staff being more open in hindsight than the coach would have liked. Everybody else who used to work for the Football Association seems to have done that over a period of years, he said when asked to talk about his methods. "We'll keep our counsel and prepare as thoroughly as we always do." Former England FA Game Insights specialist Chris Markham was interviewed recently for a book about penalties, and spoke of how he had tried to increase the players' level of personal control. The desire for secrecy has led to team media officials blocking journalists from asking certain questions. Guéhi, Konsa, and Pickford have all been asked questions by reporters that were shut down before an answer could be given. England has its quickest turnaround for the semi-final game, and by Monday afternoon, just over 48 hours from kickoff, there had been a lot of speculation about what England might do, but no apparent leaks. The discussions this time revolved around the role of captain Harry Kane, who has struggled during the tournament thus far and recorded only 27 touches of the ball in the last game, does not seem fully fit after a late-season back injury. With Guéhi available once again, there is a defensive decision too, another wrinkle being that Luke Shaw played his first soccer for 5 months after coming on as a sub on Saturday. Back 3, back 4, a new forward, a new captain, back to an old combination or forward to a fresh one? All options for Southgate, who will be hoping whatever he chooses not only works, but stays private for a couple more days.